The full road to the final team with official stats has been leaked / released. I know we're 4 hours early before the 6 p.m. content, or maybe 3.5 hours before you guys watch this, but I just wanted to go through the players, have a little look at other cards that they've had this year. Some of them have had specials, some of them haven't, the price points of those cards, and what we just generally think about some of these cards. You know, there's some absolutely cracking ones in there, which is really good, but there's also a whole bunch of cards that aren't very good. And we've talked about, I suppose, a lot over the last few months, and I think FIFA 23 in general has become a game that has really defined whether people like or don't like the FIFA series. And I know that might be a bit extreme, but certain players in this team are a prime example of this isn't for hardcore users anymore. And there's a few players in here that's a prime example of this is for people that spend a load of money or a load of time on the game these days. And there doesn't seem to be much in between. However, looking at the players, and we'll start at the bottom because it's the Conference League players, and we've got Felipe Anderson from Lazio and Atal from Nice. Atal always gets a special card, doesn't he? And I think both of these cards are decent, but pointless. And they're only pointless, I suppose, if you don't support these teams, I guess. But like, if you're a Lazio fan, you probably love the fact that Felipe Anderson has got a card there, because most likely, I would have thought that they would have been some of the more popular cards. Most likely, Felipe Anderson is going to be cheap enough for you to pick up. There are some decent Lazio players this season. We've got Milinkovic-Savic special card at 60k, Radu at 30k, and Immobile Inform at 34k. You've also got Marusic, who can be all right at 15k. So you could build like a good half stack of Lazio players for fairly cheap. Like, you know, you're talking at maybe 150,000 coins on top of Felipe Anderson. And he's 4-star as a standard, with some quite interesting stats there. What does he have when it comes to an upgrade? So he's got 71 physical, which is +8, which means hopefully at least 81 stamina. He's got 6 pace, and I tell you what I really like about him. He's got a good pace split of 85-85. So 91 pace will now be 91-91, which is great. They've given him 6 shooting, which is good. 6 passing, which is all right. 6 dribbling, which is really nice, because that gets his composure up massively, his dribbling stats up massively, and his reactions up a bit to like a reasonable standard. And then like 7 defending, but who cares? It'll probably mostly be popped into like heading, because that's what they tend to do. I like the fact that he's 4-star already. He's also got outside the foot shot trait, finesse shot trait, and of course has the ability to get upgraded a whole bunch. And if we look at Lazio fixtures, they have got... Who have they got? They have got Cluj, who they're 1-0 up against. So the likelihood of Felipe Anderson getting that first upgrade for the win and for the qualification is going to be quite large. Although the win is not... Yeah, hold on. The win is not in this one the same, is it? Let me go back to Sheriff's tweets, where we can see the road to the final of these cards. Hold tight, guys. Oh, here we go. I've got it. So it's just qualifying for the first upgrade. And because he's 85 rated and they're in-form upgrades, the first upgrade is actually going to take him to an 87. If they get upgraded, you would expect that they would. All of a sudden, an 87 Felipe Anderson looks quite nice. And that's what I mean. Like, some of these cards, they're way below the power curve, but they could be fun. And it's interesting how people will adopt these, because you can only play with 11 people at once. And one of the, I suppose, I don't want to say issues with FIFA, but definitely one of the things that has proven to be a significant problem over the last few years is how long it takes to play a game of FIFA. EA introduced the golden goal game mode into friendlies, and that was just a mess in itself. Some people loved it, some people hated it. What it was for was always toxic and sweaty, but that's by the by. the fact that Squad Battle still doesn't have 3-minute halves is crazy. And the fact that we don't have like a 5-a-side sort of like mini game mode within FUT, especially a co-op version where utilizing different players has value, I think that EA are missing a trick there. Wouldn't it be amazing to have like a 2-minute half, 5-a-side game mode and have a whole bunch of different objectives and milestones and like season objectives geared towards doing that? Because then when a team like this comes out, instead of having to put, like, let's say Felipe Anderson and Natal, instead of having to put them into a team in Rivals, which is already sweaty enough, to downgrade your team to play in Rivals is like, oh my God, I'm just going to get pumped, this isn't going to be fun. Or putting them into your Champs lineup, where it's like, okay, am I really going to take out Garrincha Icon for Felipe Anderson? Probably not. Am I really going to take out, you know, Trent Centurion, or who are the best right backs in the game at the moment that people just have as well, you know, right back and right wing back? Let's not say Team of the Year, Hakimi or Eder Militao, but, you know, the World Cup Cafu that loads of people got. What SBCs have we had here? Not Kimmich. Maybe the Trippier cards. The Trent Centurions is definitely one of the better ones. If you've got Kyle Walker's Path to Glory, Joao Cancelo, any version of the World Cup, Carvajal, who's a good card. Damn, there's actually a little lack of like really quality fullbacks, isn't there? That the lot's nice. Dani Alves is still 130k, even though he's hard to link. The Vonderson, if you took the right back version of him, like, are you really going to put a talent into your team? Maybe you've got that Pepe and you get a good link. The answer is probably no. You know, it would probably be difficult for any of these players outside of Firmino, Goretzka, Alaba. Maybe Phillips, because I've seen a few pros use the other Calvin Phillips card. It's good. Fofana's good. Nuno Mendes is good. Martinelli, Martial, and Chiesa are good. But I even think with Chiesa, he's one of those players, and I know I'm going off beaten track here at the moment, but he's one of those players that even for this card here, which was an SBC card a while ago in the out of position promo, this is and was a good card. 4-star, 4-star is very good. Outside the foot shot trait is very good. He's got extremely high pace with good dribbling, good physicals, and good shooting. And the right chem style on him, especially what I would go with something like the artist, maybe like a Maestro, just makes him a genuinely good card. And yet, I've at least in my gaming experience on FIFA, I could say I've almost never seen this card. And so the fact that we're getting a different Chiesa that is going to be 88 rated left wing with 93 pace. Let me do a little stat check here. So it's actually the same pace as this one. One more shooting, one more passing, one more physical, and one more dribbling. Is that really going to be something that people are creaming themselves over? The answer is no. So looking at this team, you know, we're going to have like Martial, Martinelli, Firmino, Goretzka, Alaba, maybe Phillips, maybe Lucas, maybe Fofana, probably Nuno Mendes, but more because of links. As cards that will go into people's teams, which means people like Felipe Anderson, Atal, Miranda, Lamela, Volland, Ferran Torres probably initially, if he gets some upgrades, if Barcelona can, you know, go and do it against Man United, who knows? If he gets the upgrades, he'll be great. Malin's like in that kind of like mid-range where he's good, but he's not meta. He's also not going to be cheap because he's not terrible. And Barella the same. He's good, but he's not meta. I actually think Barella's got a pretty good card already, right, as well. Yeah, the 87 inform there. What does this have compared to that Barella the inform? 2 more pace, 2 more shooting, 5 more passing, 2 more dribbling, 3 more defending, and 2 more physical. 3-star, 3-star. So this Barella would have to be 4-star, 4-star, I think, to really get into people's teams. So the players that aren't very good that you'd want to use for fun: Tuta, Rapsodori, Forsberg, definitely. Marlon, probably. Wouldn't it just be great to have a mode where it's like, look, I could just go and take Lamela, Volland, and Torres, put them in a 5-a-side mode, go and get a couple of defenders that I already had, play a 2-1-2 formation, or a 6-a-side mode, or put a goalkeeper in and play, I don't know, a defender. Let's say you put Tuta in your defensive spot, and then you do a 1-1-2 formation. You put, let's say, Tuta, Felipe Anderson, Lamella, and Volland, and you just go into a little 5-side game mode, 2-minute halves. You know, you don't get like insane amounts of things for it. You just progress towards a little something that's a little bit more fun. It would just lend more credence to these like low tier cards, because I think the first thing that's very interesting is there are so many more cards this year than I would say almost ever before, right? The amount of specials EA have given this year, the amount of promos, the amount of SBCs, the amount of objectives, even the Future Stars Academy stuff, there's 4 of them, right? There is so much to play for. And so it starts filtering like, you know, these low-end promo cards, and we can look at almost any promo, right? In fact, let's go to the Future Stars promo. Let's take an actual Future Stars team player, and let's have a look at the Future Stars team too. You've got Willock and Vinicius Souza. Now, by any stretch of the imagination, these aren't bad cards, right? 4-star weak foot on Vinicius Souza. You pop a shadow on him. Good pace, great defending, good passing, to be fair. Even though it's only 79, his short passing and long passing is really nice. His physicals are really nice. And other than balance, his dribbling is good. He comes in at a 92 rated CDM, and yet he's slightly more than discard price. You know, your risk here is very minimal. You buy him for 20k. Worst case scenario, you discard him for 10k. You get to play with him. Willock the same. Centre mid and cam. 3-star obviously sucks. But he's got some pretty cool stats in there. And depending on how you play this game, probably a shadow again on him. His passing's all right. His physical's good. His dribbling's good for a DM. Pace becomes good. Defending generally becomes good. And he's an all right card. He's nothing like crazy. Obviously, he has that Premier League and English tax, is why he's probably 22k here as well. And you look at these cards and you just think, this is here every promo. I mean, we just get so many cards that are just dirt cheap and worthless. So how do you give them value? How do you give people that want to play with players like Lamella, like Miranda? And that's what I think this game has been missing. But yeah, we've had so many cards this year, and EA have done a good job in giving lots of options in terms of who you can play with. I think they've just done a bad job in giving lots of options of where you can play with them, because you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage playing with, like, you know, this Miranda card. There's just way better left backs out there. Although saying that, Miranda compared to Nuno Mendes there, 6 less pace, 2 more dribbling, 5 more defending, 1 more physical, 2 more passing, and 3 more shooting. It will be amazing, won't it? It will be amazing, because their price points are obviously going to be a little bit tied to how much potential they have to go towards the end of the tournament. And PSG, I mean, they lost the first game to Bayern Munich 1-0, so it's possible that Nuno Mendes just ends as an 86. It is, however, going to be very interesting to see the difference in price between Miranda and Nuno Mendes, whereas if you covered the name and the badge and the nation and just looked at the cards, you would probably take Miranda 10 times out of 10. Unless you're like some weird pace whore that just needs that 95 pace, you'd probably take Miranda 10 times out of 10. So it'll be interesting to see Nuno Mendes probably coming in, you know, in NepentheZ, nope, in some ridiculous price. And we look at his inform, and the fact that his inform is 70k just lets you know that this card is going to be crazy expensive, because I would probably argue that Miranda's special card here won't even be the 70k that Nuno Mendes inform currently is. And the reason why, and look, he's just going up in price as well. The reason why he's so valuable is because of his links, right? PSG have obviously got a wealth of superb players. And because three of them have, Messi has 2 SBCs. Because 3 of them have been SBCs, you've had Mbappe Player of the Month SBC, Messi Player of the Month SBC, Sergio Ramos' Flashback SBC. You've also had the Messi Flashback SBC, Danilo Pereira that you could have got via SBC. Because of that, you look at some of these players and you think, okay, that Nuno Mendes just fits in, because you've already got 3 or 4 SBC PSG players that you could just pop straight into your lineup, and he just gets full chem. Perfect. And again, that gives a bit of value to the card. But in terms of the road to the final team itself, guys, Bobby Firmino is a very interesting one because he's not really getting a look in at Liverpool at all at the moment, is he? You know, I remember the last game when Liverpool smacked someone 8 or 9-1 and he got like 5 goal contributions. Yeah, Bournemouth 9-0. Since then, he's only scored 2, 4, 5, 6 goals. He's really been a bit non-existent. And the last little while, I guess he's been injured. I guess he got injured against Southampton because he didn't play against Villa, Leicester, Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea, Wolves, and got 10 minutes against Everton. So I guess he's been injured, but he's going to be a meta card, isn't he? He's going to be someone that, depending on, again, I suppose it depends a little bit on how far Liverpool go, but because he's already 5-star, 4-star, and he's already got crazy dribbling, and the upgrade that EA have given him is 14 pace, and again, he's got a really good pace split anyway. They've given him 11 shooting. They've given him 8 passing, and again, he's actually already got really good passing. They've given him 7 dribbling, and they've given him 6 physicals. When you add 7 dribbling to this, because it's already so well balanced, and 6 physicals to this, which is already so well balanced, and a good amount of pace here, with the 5-star, 4-star Brazilian Premier League, the only thing this card is missing is some traits. And that's quite impressive. Like, that is going to be a really good card. Leon Goretzka, I mean, I enjoyed his gold card a lot at the start of this year. I haven't had too much game time with this special card here, but you can tell by the fact that this is still 700,000 coins how good this card is. It's a good card. He's got a good body type. He's got 4-star weak foot. He's 6 foot tall, which is 6'2", sorry, which is really good. He's got good base passing. His dribbling is a little heavy here, but I actually think is all right for a big man. When you then look at the Goretzka here, which has 2 more pace, 1 more shooting, 2 more passing, 1 more dribbling, 1 more defending, and 1 more physical. And with Bayern already winning the first game against PSG, I personally would expect Bayern to close it out. You never know. It's 1 more game of football, right? If he gets that win and that other upgrade and goes to a 92, this Goretzka is going to be end game. It's not even a consideration. Although I think end game this year is going to be full 99 rated teams. He's going to be like, he's just there for it. Barella looks half decent. David Alaba has been one of my favorite players in the game this year. You know, his SBC card, I took the one that was more balanced. I didn't take this one here. I took this one here. More balance in the defending and physical. I have hundreds and hundreds of games on this card. And now that he's getting an official upgrade that we can know the stats of, which is 2 pace, 8 shooting, 1 passing, 3 defending, 1 dribbling, and 2 less physical, because obviously the rule breaker cards were a bit different, and upgradable for Real Madrid. He's just going to be insane, isn't he? Lucas Moura is an interesting one. I think it's confirmed he's going to be leaving Spurs at the end of the season. And of course, Spurs lost their first game 1-0, didn't they, to AC Milan? Was it AC Milan? Let me just get the old football up. Wednesday night. No, it was Tuesday night they played. You know, I wouldn't know. I'm an Arsenal fan. We only, yeah, it was AC Milan. But the second game's at home for Spurs, so that's quite interesting. And then, yeah, even for Fofana, Chelsea losing that first game to Dortmund's quite interesting. And then we had the Europa League games yesterday, where we've got some Man United and Barcelona 2-2. That means Martial and Ferran Torres are both up for grabs. Roma lost. Did we have a Roma player in here? No. Juve drew 1-1 with Nantes, so Nantes are going to be at home in the second leg as well. So that Chiesa is even, a card that's up for debate there. Sevilla won 3-0, so Lamela guaranteed basically to get that first upgrade, unless PSV Eindhoven pull off an absolute miracle. Dortmund won though, so Marlon versus Fofana, one of them's going to get upgraded, which is quite cool to be fair, I suppose. And then Sporting, did we have a Sporting player? No, we didn't. We had a Monaco player. They beat Leverkusen 3-2 for Volland, and this Volland actually looks half decent, but overall, this is the official confirmed road to the final setup. I do think there's a few players here, like I say, that are that have the potential to be extremely good. Like Calvin Phillips Rule Breakers he's only 24k now. But when he first came out, he was in a lot of pro players' teams. This Calvin Phillips here has 6 more pace than the Rule Breakers, 1 less shooting, the same passing, 9 more physical, 2 less defending, and the same dribbling. And I don't actually know who City have got in the Champions League off the top of my head. Let's have a look. Manchester City have got Red Bull Leipzig. That's not an easy game. And Forsberg's the other component there. But I do think City will beat them. And so I think Phillips could easily get, after the first sort of knockout stage is done, could be a 90 rated with an insane card. Overall, I think I'm really excited to test out and try out and play with Firmino, Goretzka, Barella, depending on his skill moves and weak foot. Alaba, definitely. Lucas Moura, so he's 4-star as standard with flair trait. He's already got some crazy dribbling. And again, look at these stats, guys. His dribbling goes from an 85 to a 91, which already his agility, balance, ball control, and dribbling is good. It's the composure and reactions that lets it down a little bit. If that gets a mad boost, 4-star, maybe they upgrade the skill move or weak foot, I don't know, but that dribbling could be insane. His pace goes to 94. Holy smokes. His shooting goes up to 85, which is a +8, which will be amazing in the right areas. His passing goes up to 80 and physical to 76. So his passing goes up by 10. I think Lucas Moura will be better suited as a striker. And his physical up by 6 is going to be really nice. That stamina hopefully gets more than a +6 because his jumping's already 93. Hopefully they focus like 8 or 9 into stamina. But yeah, some of these cards, guys, I think everyone on that top line is going to be insane. Raspadori, I'm interested. Doesn't he already have a special card this year? Raspa. He's an inform. Another Napoli player, though. Which, again, Napoli are a club that have got so many. This Politano, so good. Mr. Traits, man. He has got so many. Osimhen, very good. Kvaradona, very good. Di Lorenzo, very good. Zambo and Gisa, if you did this SBC, he's still good. Wait, was he an SBC or is he on the market? Oh, he's just on the market. Still decent enough. Not very good, but decent enough. Lozano, very nice. Kim Min Jae, very nice. Zielinski's all right, and then you get down to like the poorer players. Yeah, this Raspadori, 4-star, 5-star on you, man. He goes from 84 pace to 88. Up to 87 shooting, which is... I like the fact that he's got positioning, finishing, and shot power. They're such key stats. He's got 71 physical from 62. That has to be a massive stamina upgrade. And dribbling goes up to 87, which is going to be needed to be distributed nicely. But he could be quite interesting. I tell you what, looking at these stats, looking at these players, in spite of what I said earlier about, you know, players like Atal and Felipe Anderson being a bit pointless, which I stand by the fact that they kind of are, because we have had SBCs galore this year of players that are far, far better than that. And with all like the hero upgrade SBCs and the icon upgrade SBCs and stuff, you know, you'd have to have started FIFA quite recently for Felipe Anderson to be somebody that you're like, oh my God, I have to get him in my team. But there's not really a single player here that I look at and think they're really stinky. Actually, that's not true. There's one. There's two. One of them is Tuta, because that kind of defender, like 3 years ago in FIFA, a defender with 87 defending a physical and 81 pace would have been like, oh my days, this defender's legit. Now there's like 50 of this kind of card on the game. And also Forsberg, he's just such a meh player, isn't he? He has had so many cards through the years. And even when he had, didn't he have like a 90, I want to say a 97 rated card? It was a 93 card here and a 93 card here, an 89 card here. He has had so many cards through the years. However, you just never see him, do you? Because he's just so underwhelming as a player. I don't really know why. Maybe he's physical, maybe he's shooting, maybe his pace, maybe he's just terrible in game. I don't know. But other than Tuta and Forsberg, I actually think every single player here has some credibility to be a fun player or a meta player. And so Road to the Final could genuinely be Absolutely sensational. Of course, it is going to be live in about 3 hours. So we're going to go now, and I'll be back at 6 p.m. so that we can have a look at some of the in-game stats of these players, what chem styles we use, and what SBCs and objectives EA give us. But that's going to be the end of the video for now. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.